Hi, it's Richard Smith here, and I'm just going to show you a simple control for changing the size of a sprite on the free Scratch. So here's the code down the side. So it's just made up of a few blocks, and what we've got is a slider. So at the moment it's size 21. So if I use my finger, I'm on an iPad, so I can actually just move it across. You can see you can change that number. So that's called a variable. So at the moment it's 43. Now you can also see that I've written my initials tiny, so I'm going to just explore that when I slide it further you should be able to read the initials. So what I like about this is you've got a control that can be used easily. Think about what might happen if I zoom the control to the other end. So cat size is 100 at the moment. Let's just take it down. Think about what's going to happen when it gets to the other end. Well, cat size will be 0, so hopefully when I take it to the other end it'll be invisible. Now it's interesting that it's not actually invisible. If I just zoom in here, you can probably just see it at the back, at the sort of front of the grass. It never makes the cat or the sprite invisible. It just makes it as small as possible in terms of pixels. So that's the dots that are used to create the shape. So it never disappears, even though logically, if cat size is 0, in theory it should have disappeared. So let's just zoom it up again. So you could do lots of things here. So you could come up with a story about the cat that grew in size, or the cat that shrunk in size. So lots of creative writing that you could do. So let's come off this full screen and have a look at the code. So I think what I'm going to do is just break the code up into the blocks. So you can see you've got an orange block and a green block, which are near the bottom on the left hand side. So just be aware of those. And I think what I'll do is I will start from the beginning. So I'll start a new one, and then you can see how it happens. So File, New. So first of all you need a background. So I hadn't used this background before, so Scratch 3 has got a few new backgrounds which I really like. So it's called Pathway. I'll just move the cat down with my finger onto the blocks. So I need to create what's called a variable. So this is really useful because we deal with that in maths, science, D&T as well. So I'm going to make a variable called cat size. Now, as the children get older, it's a good idea to use the underscore. So when you give a variable a name, you often use something to describe it, like the size of the cat, but you tend not to put spaces in, so you use underscore. So that's useful for when they go to secondary school. Now the size is for this sprite only, so I could add a mouse, so it wouldn't be for that one. So it's for this sprite only. Now what you get at the top, you can see that you've got, it says cat size. And if I click on the left, there's a blue tick there. That's invisible, but I obviously need that. Now I'm going to rest my finger on here, and it says normal readout, large readout, and slider. So I need slider. Now when I slide this across, it doesn't do anything. It says 73, but we're not telling the cat to increase its size yet. But I will need that block there. So you might have remembered that what I really want is when I start the game, I want it to keep checking for the position on the slider. and I want the cat size to relate to that. So that's a purple one. So what I could do is I could say, right, at the beginning, I'm going to make the cat normal size. So I'll click on the green flag. So that's the normal size, 100%. But now afterwards, after it's gone to 100%, I want it to check forever and set size, not to 100%, but the value on the slider. So can you see it's 73 at the moment? So what should happen now is it should go big, and then it should go to 73. Now you might have noticed that it doesn't go to the original 100%. That's because we need to put a little weight in here. So it happens instantaneously. So let's just do that. I might even make that 3 seconds just so that you've got more time to see it. So the cat is 100%, then it goes to the slider size. Now, I wanted to make my cat much bigger than, that's the full size, 100. So what I thought I'd do was to multiply it by something. So this is a good little bit of link to maths here. So you click on the operators, and I want to multiply. So on Scratch, often with computers, we use the star sign. Let's just zoom in a bit so you can see that. And I'll just make the image, the place where the cat is, a little bit smaller. So now you can see. So imagine that's, say, that's got to go into that green block there. Can you see? And then that's got to go in there. So the cat size times a particular number. So if I want it to become 500%, so that's 100% times 5, I just put 5 in there. So now you can see it's big. If I want 600%, I put 6 in there. Okay, so you could make the cat fill the whole screen. So let's make it 1,000%. Now it looks to me, and this is interesting, that it can be a maximum size. So let's experiment with that, 20. So actually it might be that 8 is the maximum size because it fills the screen. Hopefully you can see what I mean there. Let's just click on there. So cat size times 7. So let's just try 10, and I'm guessing that it won't get much bigger than 7. Yeah, so it looks as if the cat has got a maximum size, which might be 700% or 600%. So that's really useful for talking to the children about. So the cat's original size, if you want it twice the original size, that's 200%. So if you watch now, when I click on the green flag, that's the original size, and then it'll double. If I want it to triple, I put 3 in there. So there's some really nice maths to go with that. Can you see? And you could say to the children, well, how can we get 150%? And how can we get 75% and so on? So thanks for watching. And there's a really useful tutorial on Code Club that I will put into the comments under this Scratch project. So I'm going to call it cat size 2 because I did one before, cat underscore size 2, and I'm going to save it. Notice I'm logged in, and then I'm going to share it. So what I'll do is I'll put the link in there to the Code Club project, which involves changing the size of animals and changing the colour of some of the flowers in the background. So thank you for watching this morning.